What's up guys, Jimmy here with another Lots of Games video, and welcome to episode 8 for super cheap Xbox 360 games. For those of you that aren't familiar with the series, what I do is I talk about 8 games that you can pick up on the cheap, very simple. I'll include a link in the video description below talking about, it's a super cheap games playlist. Check it out when you have time. And guys, definitely if you like these types of videos, hit that thumbs up button so I can know to make more. We've got some good games I'm going to go over today. I'm very, very excited. The first game that you can pick up on the cheap, right now you can pick it up pre-owned at GameStop for $7.99. And this is a game actually that was overlooked by a lot of people, unfortunately. Worldwide, it was released for the PS3 and Xbox 360, but combined with the 360 and PS3, it only sold a little over 300,000 copies, which isn't very good. But published by Sega, and this game was developed by one of my favorite developers, Platinum Games. And Platinum Games, they've kind of been known to release, most of the stuff they make I absolutely love. But unfortunately, some of the games that they've created really have been underrated and really didn't perform that well in terms of sales. But the game that I am talking about, that I am going to be referring to, is Anarchy Reigns. Right now you can get Anarchy Reigns for the Xbox 360 pre-owned at GameStop for $7.99. Okay, so any of you guys back in the day, did you enjoy playing some of the beat-em-ups like Final Fight or Double Dragon, where you just get to beat the crap out of people? So kind of cut to today, this is a very fun, intense beat-em-up. Platinum Games, man, they did it again. So much fun. The action is insane and over the top. You have also a soundtrack of incredible music selections to get your blood boiling. Again, the action is just non-stop and so much fun. It actually has a decent length campaign that's very fun and enjoyable to play with a lot of very diverse areas to check out. And again, it really is unfortunate that Anarchy Reigns didn't sell that well. It's really underrated in my opinion. I really, really enjoyed it. And for $7.99, guys, I definitely recommend that you pick it up. I'm not saying that it's gonna skyrocket in price, but usually when a game doesn't sell that well, a good game that doesn't sell that well, usually down the road that game increases in price. So I'm not saying to go out and buy it because it's going to skyrocket in price. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is it's at a really good price, and it's a real underrated game that I think you guys would really enjoy. Just a really fun, exhilarating ride. Okay, there's Anarchy Reigns. Okay, so next up is a game that you can get used at GameStop right now for $9.99, and that is Halo Reach. This is a limited edition. I'm not sure if you can see it well, but this is a game actually I have a little bit of history with. So back in 2009, 2 days before E3 started, Major Nelson, or I always like to check out Major Nelson's site and check out his podcast that he has. He had on his website on how you could win a pair of tickets to the Microsoft press briefing. And he said if you're in the Los Angeles area, you can enter. If you can make it to Los Angeles area on June 1st, 2009, enter at this website. And so I did, and I really didn't think I was going to win, but sure enough, I got an email saying that I won a pair of tickets to the 2009 press briefing at the Xbox press conference. Actually, I still have the tickets here. I'm not sure if you can see those right there, but I was so stoked. And I ended up, again, this was kind of last minute. The contest was going on a Wednesday, and that Friday is when the press briefing was taking place. And luckily, my boss was very understanding. He saw that this was really important to me. I was able to take the day off work, took the 6-hour drive to check out the press briefing, and it was unbelievable. There was tons of great people there. There was Hideo Kojima, there was Ringo Starr, Paul McCartney, Tony Hawk, Steven Spielberg, Peter Molyneux. Also at this press briefing was the world premiere, is when everyone knew was the reveal for Left 4 Dead 2. But then also Bungie took the stage, and this is where, when I was in the audience, this is where they made the world premiere reveal that Halo Reach would be released in 2010. And so Halo Reach right now you can get on the Xbox 360 pre-owned at GameStop for $9.99. A solid first-person shooter. I'm guessing it'll probably get remade on the Xbox One. There's been a lot of remakes lately, but it's just a solid first-person shooter. You've got a great campaign. You've got a firefight. You've got just a solid multiplayer, which you would come to expect from Bungie and the Halo games. Definitely check it out if you don't have it. If you have an Xbox 360, you don't have Halo Reach, it's definitely a no-brainer and to add to your collection. Okay, another game I'm going to show you. So by the way, I showed you for the Halo Reach, the limited edition, $9.99 is the standard copy, okay? I'm going to also be showing you the collector's edition for a game right now, but the standard copy, you can use at GameStop now for $4.99, and it's a definite must-buy if you don't have it already. One of the best games you can get on the Xbox 360, in my opinion, and that is Mass Effect 2. So the cover art is going to look different than what you see here. I was actually a big fan of the first Mass Effect game, but there were some problems that game had. With Mass Effect 2, BioWare really listened to some of the feedback, or a lot of the feedback from the community, really polished the game, made it a much smoother, fun, enjoyable experience. In the game, with Commander Shepard, you're scouring the galaxy and gathering an army together, just kind of like a ragtag, all different walks of life, soldiers. Just a solid game. The gameplay is smooth, fluid, and fun. Again, if you don't have Mass Effect 2 right now in your collection, I highly recommend that you add it to your collection. Again, in my opinion, it's one of the best Xbox 360 games they can get, and for $4.99, that's a definite must-buy. The visuals are good, there's great cutscenes, the story is just downright epic. If you were into RPGs, this is definitely a must-have for your collection. Okay, next up is a game you can use at GameStop for $4.99, and that is Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Future Soldier. I had the opportunity to review this one, a solid third-person shooter. This was actually an interesting one because I really enjoyed the single-player campaign, but the multiplayer really couldn't get into. I thought it really wasn't that great, but the single-player I really enjoyed. Some of the levels in Future Soldier are just downright gorgeous, are just beautiful. But the interesting thing about this game, though, I have to tell you guys, is that the level of detail for these levels are kind of unbalanced, unfortunately. Some of the levels are very detailed, they look very good, but some of the levels, I'm not sure if there's like different development teams working on this game, because some of the levels, I mean, it's just like a huge downgrade for some of the other levels. Kind of unbalanced in terms of the graphics, but if you can get past that, it's a very exhilarating ride. Definitely check out Future Soldier for $4.99, use at GameStop. I really enjoyed the campaign. I'm not even sure if really anyone is playing the multiplayer right now. I could care less for the multiplayer, but for $4.99 it's definitely worth it to play through the campaign. Okay, next up is a game for all you shooter fans. If you're a big fan of the arcades, some of the shooters that are out there, and you can get it used at GameStop for $6.99. This is kind of a game that, you know, not a lot of people picked up, but I like shooters, and I really like this series. And for $6.99 is Raiden 4. Okay, fun arcade shooter with tons of bullets and planes, vehicles on the ground shooting at you. This is just a fun game, and it also has two-player co-op like you would have in the arcades. Save your quarters, pick this one up now for $6.99. When I got it at GameStop, it also included, which is kind of funny, it looks like it was a GameStop exclusive. So you have the game disc there, I'm not sure if you can see that, but then the GameStop version has the soundtrack. So you might want to check it out if you have a few copies, see if like, you know what, I'll get the soundtrack. Probably never listened to it, but it's kind of cool to have. Yeah, solid shooter, a definite must-have, and that's the cool thing about the Xbox 360. The Xbox 360 is definitely a fantastic system if you're into shooters. Just so many incredible shooters to choose from. One or two episodes back for Super Cheap Xbox 360 games, I talked about Death Smiles, and Death Smiles is another great shooter that you can pick up on the cheap. for the 360. Okay, next up is a game you can pick up used for $3.99 at GameStop. And I saw a sticker here, which I did not pay for this price, trust me, is Homefront. Actually, I did a review for it. The gameplay footage you're seeing now is on the PS3. I reviewed the PS3 version a while back, but I got this one dirt cheap. I think I got it dirt cheap at Blockbuster. I think even less than $3.99, but at GameStop you can get it now used for $3.99. I'm not sure how many people are playing the multiplayer right now, and the reason why I say that is because I really loved the multiplayer in Homefront. I thought it was so much fun. It was incredible. I thought the maps were great. I thought the just action was insane. You know, there's a lot of first-person shooters out there, and sometimes, I don't know, it can feel a little diluted or just kind of hard to find your way, but Homefront really shined for me in the multiplayer department. And one of the criticisms, the big criticisms that Homefront got was the single-player campaign. And in my review, I talked about on how if you were getting Homefront only for the campaign, definitely don't pay the $60 price tag, because the campaign's only like 4 or 5 hours. And for $60, it's definitely not worth it. But for $3.99, even if you're not into the multiplayer, I would suggest picking it up. You know, $3.99 for 4 to 5 hours of intense shooting action. The campaign I actually thought was pretty good for what it was. Very short, of course, but the maps and levels were just really well done. I enjoyed the campaign, but definitely the multiplayer is where I had the most fun. And for $3.99, it's definitely worth picking up. I'm not sure any of you guys out there that have Homefront, let me know in the section below if people still play the multiplayer. This game actually sold really well. There is going to be a sequel, and it's switched hands multiple times, but I'm not even sure if it's been delayed or canceled, but for the longest time Homefront 2 is going to be released because the first Homefront game actually sold very well, and it's definitely worth picking up, guys, for $3.99. Okay, next up is a game that I really enjoyed, and actually I also have it on the PC. You can get it now used at GameStop for $6.99, and that is Overlord. You play as the Overlord, and you play as the bad guy, going across the land, wreaking havoc, and you've got these minions with you that you have at your disposal and your control to wreak havoc and to smash stuff up and to bring more power to yourself and to help build up your tower. So it's kind of has a similar gameplay mechanic to what you would find with like Pikmin. A solid game, a great game. For those of you guys that have played this one, you know what I mean. I believe there is a demo available for Overlord, but man, for $6.99, it definitely belongs in your collection. There was also an Overlord 2. Again, just a great sense of humor. Now, in this game, if you want to just try and take out the enemies with yourself, the actual Overlord himself isn't that powerful. Your power lies with how well and effectively you can use the minions to wreak havoc and to do your bidding. But again, just a great sense of humor, fun game, very unique, not a lot of games like this, and I definitely recommend that you guys check it out. Okay, my final game is a game you can pick up now used at GameStop for $9.99. It is an epic journey and just an incredible ride, and that is the first Darksiders game. I saw this game when it was released. I'm like, I don't know about this, but I just kept hearing so many great things about it. I picked it up, and man, oh wow, huge lands to explore, incredible power-ups, very fun and exciting battles that you'll encounter with, and the game also is beautiful and fun to play with. There is a Darksiders 2 as well, guys. I definitely recommend that you check this one out if you're into action and adventure games. I think gamers, I make sure I get the right one, but I believe gamers kind of compared this one to Zelda Ocarina of Time. I hope I'm getting that one right, but they're comparing it to one of these Zelda games in terms of adventure games. This is honestly, guys, one of my favorite Xbox 360 games. Very just fun and enjoyable, and lots of hours. The only thing that I didn't like about Darksiders though was the fact that some of the puzzles towards the end became a little bit too much. There were a couple levels towards the end that I did enjoy, but overall I really enjoyed it. So guys, there is 8 super cheap Xbox 360 games, and there's episode 8 for super cheap Xbox 360 games. If you like this video, definitely click on that thumbs up button. Again, I'll include a link to the playlist for all the different episodes I've done for super cheap games for the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3. Thanks so much, guys, for your support. I really appreciate it. And if you're not subscribed, definitely subscribe to my channel. I make and upload videos often. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll talk to you later.